Welcome to Tales from the Switch Vault, where I, jimjimjim, look back at some of the weird and wonderful games on the Nintendo Switch. This time, I tried to organise in Wilmot's warehouse. Released on PC, consoles and Nintendo Switch in August 2019 from developer Hollow Pond and the creators Richard Hogg and Ricky Haggett. Published by Finji, this is a puzzle game revolving around storing and retrieving objects in a warehouse. Among the first indie game of its type to release on Switch, it stood out for its iconic visual design and intriguing premise. You play as Wilmot, a smiley 2D box-like person who works in the monochrome warehouse. Distinct colourful items are delivered to there, and you must collect, store and then retrieve them when requested. The warehouse is huge, with 6 big pillars and a service hatch at the top. At the bottom, the delivery door will open and push in a whole bunch of items every turn. These are colourful and square-shaped, depicting a multitude of things, some real and man-made, others more abstract or a pattern. You are against the clock, and after the initial delivery given only 3 minutes to move the stock around where you want it. After this, the service hatch will swing open, with 4 people requesting a specific number of items that you must race around to collect and give to them. Wilmot can only initially hold 6 items, otherwise his movement is slowed to a crawl and has a pained look on his face. Of the requesters, 2 of them will have stars attached to them, meaning if you do it quick enough, you can earn these for upgrades that make things a lot easier later on. I absolutely adore the visuals, the bold, beautiful colours and designs of the items set against the black and dismal warehouse. They absolutely pop on the Switch OLED in handheld. The item designs are amazing, what you'd expect from like a government awareness campaign or an Apple product. Also, the UI is efficient and very pared back, whilst the game has an excellent and snappy tutorial right at the beginning. Shout out to the punny posters that get set around the room as you go, a very nice touch. The music was created by Ellie Rainsbury, a composer and sound artist who has an extensive history in gaming on titles such as Saltsea Chronicles and Monsters Expedition and Flock. For Wilmot's warehouse, the tunes really match the game's ethos. Light, twinkly tunes that accompany the busy sorting fantastically. Great background tunes as you work. Gotta call out Taking a Deep Breath tune, absolutely fantastic. The gameplay loop works really well here and drives the player forward. The challenge of not only organising in a short time, but then switching to remember where everything is, including the new items, keeps you sharp. It's definitely not a game to come back a year later, you won't remember what the hell you were thinking. I also found the charming visuals pushing me forward. I was desperate to see what the 4 new items were and how I'd fit them into my current warehouse plan. What really makes a difference though are the upgrades. At the end of each full round, you can spend your stars on either upgrades for you or the building. For instance, you can add a dash to make getting around much quicker, meaning scouting for an item is far easier. The game gives you the rotate option for free early on, and this is totally necessary when everything is a mess and you have an L-shaped collection and need to weave through scattered items. What was a surprising game changer for me though was removing the columns. These are used initially to bunch up a load of items around the service hatch, and initially it makes perfect sense. But then you are given 15 of an item whilst having about 90 more different ones scattered around everywhere. There's no room, so loading up the warehouse this way makes things far easier in the long run. Having items only 1 across but 15 deep means grabbing a bunch is also far easier and more efficient. What makes this game unique is how it takes on the organisational puzzle. How and where do you organise these items? The game quickly shows you the dilemma, starting you off with a couple of hats alongside igloos and snowflakes. The player has to put them correctly into the winter and hats area, then the next training area has a winter bobble hat with the same 2 categories. Where the hell do you put it? This underpins the whole game, how you interpret each item. Absolutely genius, and reveals a lot of our subconscious thinking. It can lead to some interesting designations such as handmade, or more chillingly my war section. It's brilliant game design, though I'm absolutely terrified of trying to play this in co-op for fear of all the arguments over what the area should be. Each new run of the game gives you a different 200 items, ensuring it's unlikely you will be reusing the same organising plan as before. There's also hard mode that reduces the sorting time, stock take is now only 10 minutes rather than limited, and order slips are gone. On top of that is the aforementioned co-op mode, in which 2 players can work together to deliver the same orders. I can see how this would in theory make the game far easier, as there are 2 of you to move and organise stuff, but it's how you agree to where you put things is probably where it causes the trouble and mishaps. The creators Richard Hogg and Ricky Haggett have collaborated for the past decade, initially on Hohokum on the PlayStation. Together with Hollow Pond Games, they have also worked on numerous titles such as puzzle adventure game I Am Dead, and more recently the absolutely beautiful co-op adventure game Flock. In 2024, Wilmot also saw another outing in Wilmot Works Out, the premise being he receives puzzles in the post and must move tiles around to create pictures. It looks so good, though it is only available on PC at the moment. Nominated for the Excellence in Design Award at the Independent Games Festival Awards, Wilmot's Warehouse is very respectable 85 on Metacritic and very favourable reviews. Looking online, everyone praised how chill the game is, one to put in the cozy bucket, but I was completely stressed during the request and organising times. It was only during stock take that I could relax and properly plan out my warehouse stocking strategy. But then again, that's just me, and I'm sure I just put undue pressure on myself. The game really isn't that stressful, and I really like it. It oozes charm and is just a great world to be in. There are other organising type games, the chill room item arranging and unpacking, or the more puzzle solving focus of A Little to the Left. All are well worthy of your time on Switch and very distinct from each other. What makes Wilmot stand out is its ties in the memory and puzzle solving alongside requiring the gaming ability of the dashing and grabbing. It works really well. They've even released a board game that sounds a lot of fun. One complaint I would have is that all the upgrade options are available from the start rather than opening them up as you go. It's a minor complaint from what really is a great puzzle game. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more weekly Nintendo Switch video game essays and comment below on what your favourite organising area was called if you played the game. Right, time for another shift in the stock market section.